Welcome to the Ultimate Hockey Podcast.
Gretzky going in, Suter trying to get back. Gretzky with the shot, score!
Here's Lemieux. The center penalty coming up. Look at Lemieux. Oh my heavens. What a goal. What a move. Lemieux. Oh baby. Brown ahead for Murray. Murray going in. He scores.
Here's another shot. Right by the score! And he does it!
We're the best. I've been telling you the best.
Yeah, fucking stop.
I got a fucking rocket in my pants.
Campoli trying to clear it. Ball, shoots,
Trade me right fucking now. Trade me right fucking now.
Welcome back to old time hockey.
We're rolling.
Welcome to another Ultimate Hockey Podcast. Today's little sponsor is Duffin Donuts. Why? Because we're enjoying the sweet things in life. The sweet things in life, like watching the Leafs lose.
You need a blue donut there, buddy. You got the green one.
Yeah, the blue one they didn't give me
What
a
is that
choice.
green
This
stuff?
is episode 10,
That's
right?
scary.
We're on episode 10.
We're not really including.
double digits.
We're not really including the Whitecaps sort of live thing. That doesn't count.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it, but this,
let's
this
talk
is
about
the
it.
official episode.
We went to a Whitecaps game. Well, sorry, John, you didn't make it.
I'm
Where
sorry,
were you?
I was playing hockey.
Oh, okay.
That's a pretty good excuse.
good excuse. Yeah, well done. How did your game go?
That was on Sunday, right?
Sunday, yeah.
Oh, that was fun. Let me tell you. Coach with a guy. He's a skills coach. And then end up playing against him. My team was, I don't know. A bunch of spares, most of it, and some good skill. But the other team was way better skill. 5-0 loss after the other team's goalie said he was so bored he started counting shots and figured I was in the 50 to 60 shot range. And I went and checked the stat sheet for that game. The timekeeper has me at 13 shots. So
Lazy.
Yeah, but it was a 5-0 loss. But it was good fun. Can't complain.
All right.
And how was the Whitecap games, guys?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, we showed up at the
We showed
bar.
up. We showed up at the pub.
And it took a little bit to get the crowd going. I was kind of like, this is kind of lame and kind of, quiet. But then the drums kicked in. I was impressed.
The megaphone.
And all of a sudden there was just a humongous crowd walking down the street. And
Yeah.
I was just like, where did this all come from? And how come I've never heard of this? I've never seen this on any media.
No.
It was like the march. That's what they call it, right?
Yep. Yeah, the march down. To be honest with you, I haven't heard about any of this prior to a couple weeks ago. So this is the first time I've ever really experienced it. I mean, I did it a couple weeks prior, but once I saw the march and participated in it, I was like, we got to do this. This is amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I wish you were there.
It looked good. I'll look forward to the clips you guys are going to post.
Yeah.
We'll go again.
Yeah.
I'll get 4 tickets. We'll go again. We can vlog it and we'll post it. But because it was great, I think all 4 of us would love it.
But I think like the highlight of the day or the night was to sit in that section, right?
Definitely that section
So-
is the section you want to be in because there's language, there's taunting, there's
Joe.
It's fun. There's Joe.
There's Joe.
Yeah.
Like he's the
life of that section.
superstar of that section.
Absolutely.
And there's another guy, the brown guy.
That was the behind us. Yeah.
I mean, those two guys
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Absolutely.
And then I'm there every weekend to watch those two guys.
Yep.
The brown guy was hilarious. Like his wit and
The banter back and forth between the two.
like his timing. I was just like, this guy should be on Comedy Central doing roasts.
Yeah.
Like his own
was
roast
quick.
show. And Joe just took it really nice. He was great. But I mean, the things that he was doing was stuff like, calling the security guard too old to be a security guard.
Or too fat. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna chase me?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was good.
What did you think, Elliot?
Yeah, I enjoyed that fully from the beginning to the end. Listen, I'm not a huge soccer dude. My time on the playground was spent playing hockey or rebound, which was kind of like a squash-ish game. Anyway, right? Like, hence becoming a goalie, but we're not here for me. We're here for the Whitecaps. And from the start, from the pub, not the Blarney Stone, what was it? Dublin's Crossing?
Dublin's, yeah.
So you get there and we meet the crowd, and immediately it's, like I guess we got there maybe a little early or what, or another a group gathered, and then because it seemed like all of a sudden from 0 to 60, there's like 100 people, and now we all start marching, and it seemed like more and more, and yeah, and it's a thing. You can see people like taking pictures and stuff, and that's dope and super cool. And that atmosphere doesn't exist here for hockey.
No.
Doesn't exist here for the Canadians.
No.
It doesn't exist here for the Lions.
No.
So, it's for sure a very European thing to bring over, and I'm all for it because it was, very cool. There wasn't like, and it was, I'm sure they do it every week, maybe not, or every game, maybe not.
I'm not 100% sure. It might just be weekend games. I'm not sure if they do it during the week.
I'll
find out.
And, the route was short enough that even if people complained about anything, like it's like 4 blocks. Give me a break, right? And yeah, and it was a quick, and dude, it was, so getting there was really cool. The game itself was very entertaining. Listen, it's every people watch it on TV. I think this is funny. You watch it on TV, and yes, it's kind of boring. It can be.
Sure.
1-goal games. I get it. We're talking about speaking into the mics, and here I am not speaking into the mic. Sorry. Yeah, so being there, though, and we were down low. We were front row right up there, and I'll get to that in a second. But that atmosphere, being there at that game, I mean, obviously going firsthand is better than just watching it on TV for some stuff. I found it incredibly entertaining, especially when it's, in your section or, even further away, and you can kind of see play developing or if a man's unmarked and stuff. So, and plus that Jumbotron, and you can really kind of follow it at the far end too. So yeah, I was entertained that whole time. And part of that was because the menu, things there were cheap.
Yeah.
It wasn't $140 for, a slab of sushi with, some salmon and sprinkled with at a hockey game.
Yeah.
Right? I get it. We're in the West Coast, and
Or $30 for a beer.
yeah. So it was $5 for a
I
beer.
feel
It
like
was,
the
hold
wa-
on, John. It was $5 for beer, right?
We were in the $5 menu section.
Yeah,
Yes.
so-
That's not all the way around the building like
Hey.
that. But still.
Cool story. It was there.
I was going to say, I think the Whitecaps is more of a blue-collar sport.
Well,
because
yeah.
even the tickets that
Dude.
we had, front row tickets, they weren't expensive. They were reasonably priced.
That's my bottom last
Okay,
thing.
sorry.
This is,
Sorry.
no, it's fine,
Yeah.
dude, because that's part of this, the $5 menu
Yeah.
thing, $5 foot long. Families can go
Yes.
for cheap.
Yeah.
And cool people can go.
I don't have kids.
Yeah.
Right? You do. You got, and for you to take them to go, it's way easier to go to a Whitecaps game for the money value than it is to the Canucks, which we'll get to. But, and then the section thing, I'll just touch to that. We were pretty much next door to the Southsiders.
Southsiders, up the fucking Southsiders.
Up the fucking south side.
I want it on his shirt, bro. So if you're a rowdy dude, you go up there, or you get invited over to the south side there. But if you're not, if you just want to enjoy it, or maybe sit close enough that you can see it, when there's a fight about to start at the bar, and you just kind of go. right? Like, you know it's about to happen, so I don't need good seats. I'll watch from back here, right?
Homer Simpson
I don't want to catch one. Yeah. I don't want to catch one. So, yeah, I think, like, that's really cool, and I kind of noticed that too. And I think, so that's, for family and stuff. I just thought that overall atmosphere and everything was really cool. Now, when that guy scored 99.
Yep. Yep. I have the whole video.
Dude.
John, just in case you don't know, 99 is apparently this guy that's had the Whitecaps number all year long, or even like previous years.
Yeah.
And he scores and like big goals, and he just kind of destroys the Whitecaps, I guess. And he's got some attitude as well.
Yep.
So he's a Brad Marchand to Leafs kind of thing. Cool.
Yeah.
And so what did they do when he scored?
When he scored,
Yeah.
he walked
I'll let you
right
know what
over
he
to
did.
us to let us know about it, right? Yeah. And Joe, I bet you he knows Joe. Like, he
Probably,
probably
yeah.
goes to Joe just to rub it in, right?
Yeah.
Because Joe went ape shit, right?
The Whitecaps have played LAFC in the playoffs a couple times, like for playoffs and everything, and throughout the year. So
You need to feed me a donut.
this guy is well known
Donut or cookie?
to the Whitecaps for destroying the season,
yeah.
right? So yeah, he's a well known player.
Brad Marchand.
The Brad
that's
Marchand.
That's a good
Analogy.
Yeah.
I like it.
No.
I want the green fucking goo.
What is that?
Green
So
goo?
you're gonna tell us what happened when
Ninja Turtle.
99 scored the
Okay,
goal?
hold on. Let me put...
Look at that. It matches the straw.
We're going to have to blur this out later.
Oh my god.
Oh my God!
My poor
What's
mother.
going to happen when someone eats the Boston cream?
My poor mother.
All right.
I'll let you know later. Like and subscribe. Okay, so what happened? I'll let you know what happened. So I see him earlier in the match when they had come down in like a corner or a play at our end, or oh no, he got hauled down. Or he hauled one of our guys down, I think is what it was.
Okay.
I think that's what it was. I don't know if he got carded for it, but there was like a free kick for it or whatever, right? But like, and I saw he was wearing 99.
Yes, because you made a point.
Oh,
right then and there.
not. And then I was like, well,
Well, they don't.
here's no.
Yeah, but here in Canada,
Here's the segue is can you wear it now?
Oh,
No.
Why? Ovi's the fucking captain now. He's the one with all the goals.
I don't think you can unretire a number.
No.
No, I mean not retire from like beer league and stuff though.
But
Like,
60,
hey man.
66 is also sacred.
Well, is
No-
it?
no-
I've seen
nobody-
guys wear 66.
Who?
Like in beer league and
Oh,
stuff.
beer league.
You know, like yeah.
in
Those
beer
guys
league,
are idiots.
So
there's a guy
Anyway.
in Delta who I've played with,
great. It's a great.
and he wears the full Wayne Gretzky white Jofa, no shield, no face cage, nothing. The Team Canada red 99, the whole thing.
Beautiful.
It's kind of interesting.
Well, who cares about that guy, right? Like, that's just one guy out of a million, right? But most guys know that you don't do that, right?
Most guys in like organized competitive hockey will never do that. But then in beer league,
Anyways.
there's always someone that's a character.
Okay. Let's get back to soccer guy. Which I don't even know his name. Who are ya? So I lay into him because it happened
Early on.
30 yards ahead of us. And my voice carries at least that. Thanks, Army. So I know he heard every word of me telling him to take that number off and that he was like a POS for pulling that guy down or whatever. I may or may not have been inebriated. So then, not even like 10 minutes later, he gets pulled down because he is a good player. And he scores it was a penalty, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he scores a penalty. He comes right over
Yeah.
in front of me, and I'm just like, you right now.
It's all caught on video, by the way.
I'm sure. And you know what? I watched the highlights because I was like, Jess, if you watch this and you know what's going on, you're gonna laugh. And it didn't really, like, I wish there was a shot of it because it was pretty good. And he for sure was leaning into it. And like, oh, good for you, sir. So that was a lot of fun. Like that, you know, and you get that there because of kind of how it's set up, right? Like, you know, and so the interaction with the fans and stuff. Like, think of the NBA when LeBron and, you know, all of the like LA Hollywood elites that sit in the front row and stuff, you know, and they have all the, you know, back and forths. And then you think of like the epic 90s battles with New York with, what's his name?
Reggie Miller.
But the producer,
And
you're going to
Spike Lee?
Spike Lee, thank
Sparks.
you.
John Sparks.
Yeah.
Reggie Miller. Yeah.
So
Spike Lee was in that.
So like, you know, it's awesome, you know, and, you know, you kind of get it in the NHL, but not really because of the glass and stuff, right? But
Well, usually celebrities are up high too. They're not
yeah,
they're
like
not
in the
usually
atmosphere,
yeah.
and that gets to it, right? The atmosphere is
Yeah.
different, right? So
If you go to a Giants game, that's where you get lots of heckling right at the ice level and that. It's pretty interesting.
yeah.
Well, there's the
And-
green guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the
the
green
green man,
guys are
yeah.
like a visual thing, right?
Speaking of green,
But if you're like, I went to Lions game and I'm in the end zone and my buddy's got season tickets there and it's a lot of the same atmosphere. People are there to chirp the players. They're chirping each other. They're having a good time. And I never have seen that at a Canucks game, but I went to like a Giants game when they were at the Coliseum and at Langley Exhibition. And it's a lot of that too. Like you'll have some guy in a section that just starts chirping the other team for wearing 99 or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. Or they've got the quick-witted comments back and forth. It's kind of neat.
Is that you think that is though because those type of people can afford those ticket prices?
Yes.
Oh, they don't want to take the chance of chirping at a Canucks game when they've spent $150 for the ticket?
Well, you get too rowdy at a Canucks game. Sometimes you get tossed out, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And BC Lions game, like, yeah, you'll get tossed out, but usually it's like, you're too drunk, you're too stupid, and that. So.
And you get too drunk because you've saved money on the ticket so you can afford more in alcohol.
Yes and no, but we're also a very hockey-driven market. So, like, the Canucks charge more. Lions, they might only have the same 24 to 30,000 people at a game, but tickets are half the price. I don't know.
And that goes back to my comment that with lower ticket prices, you're going to get more cool people at the game.
More families, yeah.
Well,
people that wouldn't normally spend.
I'm talking more about guys like the green guys. Like those guys are not, you know, rich business class guys.
No.
They're guys like us, and they have sense of humor, and those are the types of guys that do the heckling, do the funny stuff, and you know, cause a lot of, you know, the things that, you know, make it kind of fun to go to a game, right? Get the crowd rolling. You don't see like rich business guys, you know, trying to get the wave going or anything like that at a hockey game, right? It's always some like drunken idiot that we like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also that drunken idiot isn't worried about losing his job because he said something at a
Right.
game
There
or
you
got
go.
the wave started or
Exactly.
that.
He's probably unemployed and just loving life, right?
Or just a regular Joe working in a warehouse.
Nice blue-collar
construction.
worker. Yeah.
And he's just like, whatever. Like, yeah, I said that. Isn't it pretty cool? And all of his work pals will be like, yeah, that's awesome. Whereas like the office guy, I said that. Ooh, that represents poorly on us and you're on the poster.
Canucks games were fun back in the 80s and 90s. I remember the heckling. It was way louder than it is today. Like when you go to the games, you don't hear very much at all. You rarely hear anybody chirping at the referees. Back then, it was just so common. You would hear it from every different angle, and it was great. Like, you know, everybody knew the referees' names. I don't know anybody.
No.
I don't know the referees' names anymore. Like, you knew Van Helleman, you knew Carey Fraser, you knew Koharski, right? Because everybody was after them at the games.
It might
Fraser didn't wear a helmet.
Yeah,
it might be related
flow.
to the ticket price, but it also might be related to the town. Because, like, did you not hear the Winnipeg Jets fans during their game? That was hilarious. Yeah, okay, they lost, they're out. But, like, Scheifele pushed one in with his hand. Of course, no goal. And the crowd starts chanting, should have kicked it.
Yeah.
Like, I think it might also be dependent on the town.
I was going to disagree. I think it has to do with what level they're playing at. Like, there's definitely a lot more atmosphere when they're in the playoffs compared to a regular home game. So I went to a couple of the games when we were playing Edmonton a couple years ago when we had they opened up the arena. Like, it's loud. It can be loud, but the market that we're in, when the Canucks are doing bad, we're shitting on them, and when they're doing good, we support them.
Yeah, I would say more like the rich business class. Okay, they can be loud.
Sure,
they're positive people. They can be loud. They can yell and scream, but they're not going to be risky.
No, because
derogatory.
Because, like John said, nowadays, phones are everywhere, and the business will see that, and they can potentially lose their job.
Yeah.
Look at the girl from Edmonton, right? She did one thing, and it wasn't a major thing. It's just not acceptable at that spot.
Was it the one that flashed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
but she got so many more opportunities after that.
Yeah, she did.
I mean,
but it was like so many people spoke out against her or whatever, or tried to figure out who she was in that. And it's like, imagine if you just say something, you're the face of a business or you're a lawyer or something. That's exactly how it'll haunt you.
If she had done that 20 years ago, it never would have made it wouldn't have made the news.
It would have been a folklore amongst a bunch of fans.
Exactly.
Were you there when this happened that time? I remember that. That was great.
Yeah.
But,
So it's just the time and the technology that we have now, right? You always got to be careful and be cautious.
Well, and I think that's part of why, the atmosphere has changed at the stadium, because they don't want the rowdy guy pounding on the glass, breaking stuff. They don't want beer spilt and thrown on the ice from rowdy fans who take it too far. Like, I know we want a beer I know we want a beer doing it. Sure, I'd have a beer doing it. But no, I know, we'd like to see kind of that more atmosphere of us, screaming, yelling, giving the heckling. But because the day has changed, it's more civilized now, right? Like, that's what it is. And so...
Did you see the Florida guy with the Speedo twerking behind the glass?
Yeah,
Did you see that? That was great.
So
you're comparing us to Florida, like Florida man? No. Yeah, no, I did not. I'm good.
I'm editing this in right now.
He's got it bookmarked.
I don't.
But I'll agree with Elliot. I had to lecture the team I'm coaching. I'm coaching a U15 team, and they did something that wasn't it wasn't really bad, but it was like, hey, we heard about it from the rink, and the rink was like, hey, this is unacceptable, and we had to go to our players and lecture them why they shouldn't do something like this. And one of the examples I used was hey guys, there's cameras everywhere. We know who did it because we can see on the camera. And you did it, but it's permanently on someone's phone or camera system or whatever. And I'm like, just to make it more relevant to the kids, I'm like, they're nowhere near this bad. But I was like, look at those guys from the World Juniors Team Canada. And they're on court or trial for something that came up on someone's phone 10 years later, or something changed. Yeah. And it's old news, and it comes up and it haunts them, and it wrecks their career for something that was indiscretionary. You do something anywhere, it doesn't matter. You're always representing your team, you're always representing the association, so you just have to think twice, or maybe you have to reprimand your teammates before you do something. And that's all it is one moment of misjudgment, and social media will haunt you forever.
I did hear a good little piece before about when you put on your jersey, you're representing that crest on your jersey, whether it's the league or the association or the team, whatever, right? You're also representing the name on the back of the jersey, right? It's just something to think about.
Yep.
Amen.
Yeah, just a little thing. When you're going like this, it picks it up pretty bad.
Sorry.
So you don't know because you don't got the headphones.
My point home. Yes.
You were doing it a
those
lot,
headphones don't work?
and it was like thud, 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 thud,
Sorry.
thud. Yeah. So we'll edit that out, but we'll keep your. That was a good little rant, though.
I have USB-C headphones, but that doesn't work. No.
I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
We'll figure it out next time.
So, since we're talking about negative effects of media, why don't we talk about Toronto and their unfortunate loss?
Or let's talk about Winnipeg.
Okay. And the pressure in the goal, or what?
Well, no. First, so I'll bring it up because you brought up his name, Mark Scheifele. And just what happened with him and his toughest 24 hours of his life, hopefully ever.
I can't believe he played, actually.
So, for those of you who don't know, his father passes, and I don't know if it was expected or not.
No, it was not expected.
Irregardless, as I like to say. Shout out, Dara. Father passes. They're at the team hotel. Coach goes, talks to him. I guess the decision was, I'm going to still play. Decides to play. Scores a goal. The only goal, I think, in the game for his side.
Yep.
Gets knocked out. Has to do the handshake line.
Gets a penalty for being knocked out.
Yeah.
Well, his penalty was also kind of, I really feel bad for him because he made a play on the blue line, which was a little bit risky, caused the breakaway, and then he had to dive at the guy that got the penalty. So I can see him feeling, that it was his fault, and that fucking sucks.
So, the handshake line, getting condolences from like 30 guys you don't even really know, probably, I thought it was really cool, Benn and him, hugging it
Ben
out and
was
stuff
great.
after him just fucking dummy. Like 2 days prior, right? Like, hey man, really sorry for, knocking you the fuck out. But that's hockey, right? So like super cool there. But, and then, I thought, and I don't know that you guys know this either, and I read it, and so if it's true, cool. If it's not, the internet got me. I guess the owner for Dallas went down to the room, pulled him aside, and essentially gave him the keys to his private jet to fly him back to his hometown to be with the family and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. Which I think is super awesome, amazing gesture, and I don't know if he took it or not, because he may want to kind of be with his teammates a little bit too or whatever for that flight back, but probably not, right? Like he's probably like, hey guys, I'm gonna go be with the family now, you're right, I'm gonna put you to bed here in the dressing room, and now I'm gonna go do my thing. And so I hope that's what he did. But the Jets are out. They were up against an absolute dynamo of a team. A team I think now is my favorite to win it all. You
think Dallas is going to win it all?
It's going to be a Dallas-Florida final, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the defense of the Oilers enough to put up with how thick and heavy and playmakingly skillful the Dallas Stars are.
They were bad in round one, but in round two, they stepped it up.
Yeah, I think they're just kind of getting their wheels greased here a little bit, and as long as everybody kind of stays healthy. Listen, Edmonton's a steamroll of they're a great team. I still don't like their defense. I still don't like much of their offense. I don't want to say they're a one-trick pony, but their goaltending is, when you stand up Ottinger versus Skinner, I'm sorry, I know who I would want in a bar fight, So yeah, I don't like. I'm not a big. Listen, I know you like Edmonton.
Oh, they're going to win, so I don't care.
But yeah, I think Dallas is the team to beat now. I really thought Vegas was going to
school them.
Well, be able to be more offensive, right? Be able to get through a little bit easier.
They got
And
spanked.
And because they couldn't, I think that tells me everything I need to see.
That series was 4-1.
Vegas is a stacked team, and they got
them, yeah.
whipped.
So we'll see.
So
and then
you can have all the stars in the
but
world.
that's all I wanted to bring up about
Literally
Winnipeg. I
with
didn't
Dallas,
watch much of the game.
but,
Should we roll back to our hockey bracket look?
Oh yeah,
That,
look
right?
who's that. John's
Yeah.
at the top with picking the Stars to go out in the first round, even though he said many times that they were going to win it all. So what is it, John? You're flip-flopping which way now?
Well, like I said, I filled out many brackets that day, and each one was different because I'm trying to win. Nobody plays the same number on
You just
three
keep
different lottos.
purchase all those lottery tickets,
He's-
each single direction.
Yeah.
He set up
Every little combination.
He did 5 different brackets and whatever was gonna. He's like, oh yeah, this is the bracket.
I was just hoping he'd go with the audio version, not the graphical version.
I'm toast. All my teams are out.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah.
What is your bracket?
I was like,
we never
it
even
was-
got to see it.
No, it was like Colorado versus Florida. I have it in
Oh.
separate. It's not. Yeah,
Okay,
it's-
so you're
I'm-
still in.
Well, with Florida, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Nobody else did
No.
well? Montreal?
No.
Montreal was your original pick,
I
actually.
had
So you
Montreal-
flip-flopped as well.
I had Montreal going to the finals with Florida in the
Did
Eastern,
you? To
in
the conference
in
finals.
the conference finals.
Okay,
Eastern,
gotcha.
Eastern Conference Finals was Florida, Montreal, but I had Florida advancing.
Yeah. So
Florida.
what was it that you couldn't send it to us? So you
I
couldn't
couldn't
take a
get- I-
screenshot or anything like that?
I couldn't do a screenshot on my iPhone. I did do a screenshot, but it's in 4 sections because you can't get it all in one screen.
Oh,
So I have it.
Okay,
I have
I
it in
get it.
4 different pictures of
Right.
the top half of the Western, the bottom half of the Western,
Right.
top half of the Eastern, bottom half of the Eastern.
you could have done that. I mean,
I did.
we would have accepted it.
I did. I
Sounds
have
like
it.
a user
No,
error.
it's dated.
We never got it.
It's dated. I'll send
Right,
it.
right,
I'll
right.
send it.
So let's go back now a bit to like the game. Like, we're sorry about Scheifele and his situation, but I had a real gripe with the Winnipeg game. It's the inconsistency they had in the reffing. So you have Ottinger takes a puck to the mask. He puts up his hand to signal to the ref, like, hey, my mask is undone. And play goes outside of the zone. They blow it down because Ottinger's got to fix his mask. And play comes back into Dallas's zone. Because the ref said, well, his mask came off. That's the reason I blew it down, so it comes back in the zone.
Got it.
Next period, Hellebuck takes a puck to the mask.
Got it.
He immediately puts his hand up too, like, hey. And play goes outside the zone. Ref blows it down when Hellebuck takes his mask off and says, like, hey, my mask is undone. Where was the face-off? Right outside Dallas's zone. And I was like, okay, like, that's complete inconsistency. And when Ottinger had his mask come off, I think it led to Winnipeg's goal with that face-off. Or what? Maybe it was when Hellebuck's mask came off. One of the goalies' masks, when it came off, I think it led to a goal by one of the teams. And I was like, what is the difference there? In like, why when one goalie does the exact same thing, it's in his zone, the other goalie, it's at the far end of his zone. And it wasn't who had the puck, because both times the goalie that was getting the whistle blown had possession of the puck and they were moving it up. And then there was like the Jamie Benn Scheifele. Scheifele gets into it with Jamie Benn, and Jamie Benn not only punches him while a ref or linesman is holding him back, but knocks him out. And I saw Scheifele go to the box. Did Benn end up in the box too? Did Benn get a penalty on that play at all? And he knocked him out in front of and around a linesman while he was being restrained.
The linesman went down with Scheifele.
Yep, and there was no repercussion from the NHL. No fine to Ben for it. I would have at least fined him.
Well, I mean,
I think
hockey Illuminati right there.
I think the bigger question is why. Maybe we're just not hearing it. Why is there no onus on the referees? Like, why aren't we seeing?
There is kind of.
But do we see it?
hockey
You
Illuminati.
never talk.
Well,
they
they-
never talk about it.
You
They
do
get-
and you don't, right?
They get asked to do like it's the same in the NFL. They get asked to do the playoffs, or they get asked to do the Stanley Cup Finals, or not, right? Like that's kind of how it works. Which is financial in the fact that they're either working or they're fucking not.
And it pays better money to be in the playoffs than.
Yeah. So.
All right, at a higher stakes situation, in the game where Vegas scored with 1 second left on the clock, about 30 seconds or a minute before that, Connor McDavid is going into the corner and some dude slashes right over top of his stick and breaks his stick. And there is no slashing call.
Yep.
So how bullshit is that when we know that's an automatic call? Yeah. I don't know how that doesn't get called. And the next game, Vegas takes advantage of somebody slashing their stick and breaking the stick, or just it wasn't even a broken stick. He just got his stick knocked out of his hands, and then they get the call.
Yep. And that's to your Illuminati. The viewership, which is more important to the NHL? Do they want American fans or Canadian fans? They want the American fans. It's a larger market.
Canadian teams have not won a Stanley Cup since 1993, since Bettman has been in charge. So you know that he's in charge, that he's doing something. And all these inconsistencies that you're seeing, or you're just it's what they've been told. And I mean, there's a referee in the NBA, Tim Dowdy, who went to prison, and he's going on podcast after podcast right now talking about all the things that he's been told to do. Yeah. And you know that exists in every single pro sports team or pro sports league.
NFL players come forward like, I don't know why we're running this defense. It makes no sense to run this defense against that team. But our coach is doing it. Why?
The Super Bowl, man.
And they lose the game because of it.
The LA Raiders, Tim Brown. Do you know Tim Brown?
Yeah.
Do you know what he said? He said that his coach, the day before the Super Bowl, completely changed the game plan. The game plan that they had been practicing for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
they ended up losing to Tampa Bay because,
What about the clip with the NBA coach? The spread's 5.5. The spread's 5.5. His team scores a 3-point. The other team runs down but doesn't shoot because now the spread's covered.
Yeah.
Who knows who's controlling these games? It could be Vegas. It could be just the commissioner who wants to build business. But
Illuminati.
We know things are being rigged. It's just so obvious. If you just watch it, you'll see it. Yeah. And people need to stand up because the games should be fair. It makes the games way better.
And it's definitely gotten a lot bigger since sports betting has become, not as taboo as it was 20 years ago, right? Everyone is sports betting.
Since the NHL started running sports betting ads and everything and suspending you even though you're advertising sports betting on your helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how are you going to stop it?
We can't. Unless there's a boycott, but the boycott you can't do it. There's just so
you can't get enough people on board.
There's just so much support for these leagues. The people just actually the NBA seems to be on a decline. I've been watching it, and there's a lot of people talking about how they're losing viewership, and there's the I don't know, the money's going down or something like that. So the NBA is in decline, but the NFL is off the charts.
Well, you as a fan, no matter what sport, you pay to see the athletes perform at this elite level that they've worked all their life for, and you see them train and work their ass off. And they get paid stupid money, but their job is 24/7, 365. They're in charge of their nutrition, their sleep, their exercise, their recovery, all that stuff. We don't pay to watch a bunch of refs make some calls that are bullshit. We want to see these athletes perform and may the best man win, not these athletes perform and may the best ref or the best odds for the league win.
Yeah, I got a funny story. So I'm playing in this drop-in game on Saturday night, and the other team is just stacked. They made a mistake on making the teams, right? They've got 2 junior players, and they're just ripping it up, right? And so I just stopped the game. I'm like, hey, can we make a trade? And normally I would never, ever do this, right? But it was 10 minutes into the game, and I'm like, I don't want to play another hour and a half of this, right? I just want a fair game. So I didn't really care who got traded for, but they were asking me, oh, who should we trade, right? I'm like, just give us one of the junior players or one of the big guys, right? And so they do.
Nice.
But they traded him for our absolute worst guy, which I thought was a mistake, right? So I noticed our team just went up huge, right? And I'm seeing, wow. I don't want to complain again because this is embarrassing, right? So what I did I sandbagged it, and I couldn't believe how much me, just missing that pass or just letting that guy go, how much influence that had on the game. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, but
I totally let the team catch up.
Yeah, but you're also a very influential player in any drop-in I've seen you at. You can control a game because you're very smart and very skilled.
But even if I've got other players that are really good, I got the junior guy, I've got other good players on my team, I'm a liability now. I'm not taking my man. I'm letting him go. Mm-hmm. So I have an easy. It's like when you look at the Canucks, they're not doing well because they've got that one or two guys that are extreme liabilities, and that's why we lose the games. But in any other situation, if you don't have those guys that are liabilities, then it could be like a total even match. But if you have one guy who's been told by the Illuminati to just let that guy go. Yeah. Just kind of act it out. Like you tried hard, die for that puck. I don't know. I've seen it in the NFL. Yeah. There was a game with Minnesota. It was like the craziest comeback of all time. Guy launches the Hail Mary up the field to the 50-yard line. The safety could have totally clocked this guy that was going for the ball, but he let him go and hit his own guy. And I was like, that guy right there. He was told to miss that tackle. Yeah. Because there's no way an NFL player safety would have ever. I would have never missed that tackle. That's all. Like he had him like. I don't know if you've seen that play.
Listen, your story about sandbagging last Wednesday.
Oh boy!
I wasn't sandbagging.
Wait, we're not talking about teabagging, right?
This was sandbagging for sure.
Just want to make sure.
No,
we're not off topic.
We had a 16-year-old killer stud female hockey player come out. It's one of the guy's daughters. I hope she doesn't watch this because she is a really good hockey player, right? So like, it's a 2-1-0 on you, I think. Coming back, and I bust my ass to make sure that pass to her didn't come across. Yeah. And she loses it on her father because, like, why didn't you shoot? He's on me. Anyway, then at the end of the game, last goal wins, right? I'd already kind of, and 100% hand on heart. God, you know this was an accident, but like tripped her. So she was already pissed at me for that. Then she's pissed at me for like checking her for this like beauty tap-in goal. We're fighting for a rebound at the end of the game, and it's like 1, 2, 3 saves. I'm kind of there fighting with the puck for her, but like I don't want to push her over. Mm-hmm. And as we're kind of skating around, her last-ditch effort, and it went in. And that was the end of the game, and it was like super. I was laughing my head off. Like,
and last goal wins in that. That's all we care about is last goal.
That's right. So I mean, the sandbagging thing, yeah, you can affect the game. I mean, if I wasn't sandbagging, I'd actually just played defense and knocked her on her ass like I should have. Like what's gonna happen this Wednesday? Then it'll be all good. So,
have you guys seen The Gambler?
No.
It's a good movie. Okay, so if you're going to watch it, there's a old version and a new version. You got to watch the old version with James Caan, the guy in The Godfather. He plays like this a gambler who's like super compulsive. He bets on sports. He goes to the casino, and he gets in trouble with the mafia, and they're going to kill him. Right. Mm-hmm. So his profession is a professor at a university, and so the mafia's like, you know that star point guard for the basketball team. you got to talk to him. You got to tell him to sandbag it. And man, it's an amazing ending. Watch the movie.
You want to know what that just reminded me? Have you guys seen Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler?
Oh yeah, I tried to watch that.
Dude,
it's pretty vulgar.
That movie will have you, because it's so much happening, you will be on the edge of your seat. Like, it's crazy. It's like,
I'll try it again.
yeah, try watching it. It's really good.
Uncut
Really.
what?
What's
It's
it
called
about?
Uncut Gems. So he's a
Gems.
Gems. He's a like a pawn shop owner. Like
Okay.
he sells gems and everything. But it's so high tension throughout this whole movie, and he's a gambler,
Okay.
a big time gambler,
Right.
and he gets into a hole, and it's like, yeah,
Okay, so I
But,
can't believe
anxiety level like up here.
I can't believe it's
Drake-
me having to do this, but let's try and get back on some kind
Yeah.
of track here.
All right.
So hold on.
yeah, you got it?
Okay, so where do
I've got a
we
whole
kind of
page
ended
shit
up
to do here.
We did Winnipeg.
we kind of talked about Winnipeg, like, so moving into the off season for them, they, for anybody who's a Winnipeg fan, why are you listening to this show? But like, they do have some questions themselves, right? Because they did phenomenally well in the regular season, and then here they are again, and like, they're not Toronto yet, but they seem to be falling into that trap of becoming a team that hits the pro season and then just kind of peters out, meets a
Crumbles.
little bit of opposition or whatever, and then just can't push back, and which was very surprising to see against Dallas.
Hits the Illuminati, who doesn't want a team from the
Moving
middle
forward
of
from
Canada
The
to win
other
a
team-
Stanley Cup.
The other team, which I do believe the Illuminati would want to do well, would be the Toronto Maple fucking Leafs. I'll put $1 in the swear jar later. I wrote down here similar problems, right? Like, they have a core 4 hockey players who, if you have two eyes and a heartbeat, they do not get along. There's problems there. They're all cussing and swearing at each other. This isn't junior, bro, right? Like, so good. Blow them up. Because they're all a bunch of fucking children together. If they get on a team that has some kind of leadership or structure or something where they can then, grab onto and kind of hopefully learn from, then maybe they're going to do better too. Because right now, the 4 of them together, it's just, I don't know if it's 4 egos clashing or what, but it's tough to watch. Those guys were up 2 donut in their series, and then they basically just lost the last 4 games straight. Like, I feel like that game in Florida didn't really count. Like, they didn't even show up or something. You know what I mean? When they got
I think it was
shelled.
the defensive core showed up, and that was
Yeah, they were just kind of like, well, we'll wait, But, and then they go back to Toronto and then just get absolutely bombed. I watched I was DJing my sister-in-law's wedding, and I had that thing going on the down low during dinner and everything. I couldn't believe it. No pushback in the first 10 minutes. The last half of the game was like a little bit better, but like, it just, the body language, the skating around, the eyes, the looking up, the rolling, the shaking of the heads, like, they're toast.
Let's talk about my first point on my list here. Scott Lafton. He's guarding the point, and the puck comes over to his point, and the guy winds up for a big slap shot. By the way, if those chips stain this table, you're in shit, buddy. The shot comes. He's got his stick right in front of the shot. He deflects it right up and over wall. I don't know if you guys saw that play. But if you guys know Don Cherry rants, which I've been missing for the last 5 years, he constantly reminds the defenders, do not put your stick in front of the shot. Wall could have had this shot.
Yeah.
This shot was along the ice. Wall was set. He was going down to block the shot. Frickin' Lafton puts the stick. It couldn't have been a better deflection. It went right over top corner, and I'm just like, how does that guy not know not to do that? Like, he's an NHL dude. He's a good player.
And you're probably trained that young, no? Do they train that?
It's more
It's
a thing
reflexes
of when
kind of a bit
players
too.
do something that's bad for our goalie, we never think we're going to fail.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, I'm going to block this shot. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You never think, oh, I'm going to block this shot. Maybe it won't end well.
Like, I'm going to block this just enough
Yeah.
to go bar down on my own goalie. You know, that doesn't happen.
And the goalie, once that shot's halfway through its release, you know where it's going and you're already reacting.
No, like-
at that level, there's not time to change. So
I just think the whole situation in Toronto, I see parallels there with a little bit of Winnipeg, but really, I mean, Toronto's the team that has lost to Brad Marchand. Is it like 7 years in a row?
yep.
In the playoffs, haven't won 3 rounds since the 60s, I think, when they won the cup.
67.
Yeah, and so I hate to hate on a team like Toronto, except I don't. But they have, I mean, all the way up to Shanahan, all the way up to, you know, senior management, and, you know, changing gears away from the team in blue to another team in blue on the West Coast. We are almost in more of a dumpster fire here in Vancouver. Now, I know we're not in the playoffs, but this is a Vancouver podcast, and I love that we're almost an hour and some odd into the show and just kind of getting around to it, because a lot has happened in Vancouver. So to just kind of touch, for those that missed out or have come back from vacation, Rick Tocchet is no longer the head coach of the Vancouver Canucks. We now have Foote, Adam Foote, who the defensive mastermind for the last, I mean, we have been a pretty good defensive powerhouse.
Yeah.
And I think the move to him is a natural progression, but I think it's just a Band-Aid on a bigger problem. But, yeah, to see Rick Tocchet go to the Philly.
I'll take one.
To go to Philly
Yeah.
hurts. I think it's good for him. I don't think it was, you know, I sure hope it wasn't just like all the plan from back then. I don't think it was. But,
I mean,
could be. Who knows?
How quickly was it that he was no longer the Canucks coach? And
Yeah.
like, what was the timeline?
I
there?
don't
It
know.
was like, what, a week and a half?
But you have to start looking at in the situation in Philadelphia and like when did that start degrading enough that they're starting to look at coaches and stuff, right? So like who knows?
But who knows what
it
the
doesn't
conversation
matter.
was going
What's
on.
done is
Yeah.
done.
Good for Tocchet. I say
Yeah.
he belongs in Philadelphia. He's going to get his style
Hey,
of hockey there,
hey,
and the people are going to love him.
He has
And-
the staff there he wants now. Philly's already
And
kind of a big
management's
team.
not going to interfere.
Yeah, he's got the keys to the team to build a team he wants.
He's
And
going to make
on
Broad
that-
Street Bullies Part
Yeah.
2.
Amen. And they're going to be
fan
the
base will love him for it.
look. Now's the time. If you're going to be a bandwagon guy, now's the time. Philly's going to be a good team here in the next little bit, so you watch out. But
Sorry, Nick. Giroux left Philly.
so you know, so then that begs, okay, so you bring Adam Foote in. He's kind of a
Well,
Band-Aid,
he's-
hopefully.
yeah, he was already there.
I mean, well, yeah, like he's already
You just
there. You
bumped him
I
up.
guess you promote him.
Yeah.
So
And your captain is happy with that decision.
well,
Quinn Hughes spoke
let's
very
get to
highly of
him.
him.
Let's get to Quinn Hughes because
Okay.
you know, like, how do we make sure we keep him? Because I'm here to tell you, I don't think we are. I think that he's going to want to play with his brothers, and I think it's a lot easier for him to go down there in a couple of years than
You-
to try and bring them up here.
You
How-
want you don't
how
want to know
long-
what?
What?
I want that to happen.
So do I.
Go.
They'll be great to watch.
Fucking build the whole team.
So this is
Don't even try to build it around Quinn Hughes.
That's my so.
Rebuild.
Who do you build it around?
Yeah,
You wanna know what'll
and
happen?
what we got to do is we got to get some good players for Quinn Hughes.
Well,
Yeah.
who did we just sign?
Here's what'll happen. If Quentin Hughes is going to leave, we're going to stick with Adam Foote for a year, and then it's not going to pan out because the team didn't perform. So Adam Foote gets the boot. By then, Malholtra's finished his stint in the AHL. We move Malhotra up. Quinn goes bye-bye. Malhotra, who's hockey-minded, calls back Linden. Linden, come back, be hockey operations. We tell Aquilini to get fucked, and we do it our way. That'd be something interesting to see. But yeah, it'd be nice to see an actual rebuild. Mm-hmm. There are 2 less Aquilinis involved now, so hopefully.
Well, the Canucks signed Tom Willander. He might be the guy that you bring the franchise around, right? Like we do have a few young dudes that are in the hopper, but that's just the thing, is they're all young dudes in the hopper, and it's going to be some time before this team is going to be any kind of caliber to get deep in the playoffs. I think we're all kind of sick and tired of putting Band-Aids on bullet holes. And, I mean, look at the goaltending. Look at, like, all the way back to front. Mm-hmm. Right? We gave Zadorov away for bag. I mean, we didn't give him away, but...
He didn't want to sign, wasn't it?
Well, he signed for a bit more money in Boston.
Right.
Like, a bit more.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
He didn't want to sign here. He said he didn't.
Yeah. Well, I wonder why.
But maybe he knew what was going on.
Can't blame
So,
him.
you know, so, okay, so you look at... Okay, so let's look at the team then. You look at the dressing room. So we look at the team, everybody's kind of underperforming, and it's all miserable, and everybody's having cold showers, crying with beers in their hands. So, okay, so what's that problem? Coaching? Well, the coach is gone, so we have new Adam Foote Band-Aid coach. Perfect. Hope he's, and listen, I'm not trying to undermine the guy. He's done phenomenal things for us. I just feel like it's more of a temporary solution than it is a permanent, like, because we're not actually bringing in anyone new. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's why I keep just kind of undermining that. But what about hockey operations? What about the GM? And what about the president? And if it's not their fault, then whose is it? Would it be, who signs their check? Is that not the owner? Mm-hmm. Because if it is, then it's the owner's accountability on the team, which is why it's as terrible as it is.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's the problem we have. And how do you have that conversation with some billionaire guy who clearly doesn't seem to give a fuck about the team that the rest of us do?
That's why two of the brothers left. One's still in charge. Prediction?
Why do you say he doesn't give a fuck about the team?
Well,
He's got his own agenda.
He's trying.
He's the
got,
Jerry Jones of
Yeah.
the NHL.
Andre, won't you tell us about the egos that you encountered with them in their...
it.
The Mafia movie?
Yeah, like that just gives you an idea of the amount of ego that's in that room or in that family as to whoever started that. They're like, we're the shit. I know what I'm doing over everyone else.
Oh, guys, you gotta hear this.
Every guy that's like had out. Sorry, just real like just on that, because like you kind of asked me a direct question. For sure, I think he doesn't care. I think he just wants to like put his fingers in and like pick a certain style of team or player or something, or maybe he undermines management in some other ways or something, because I feel like everybody who's worked for him in that spot has either quit because they have pushed back, like Linden perhaps, or has just been a fucking pushover, a doormat, like a yes man.
He's a micromanager.
Like everybody who's been the president guy, I feel like has just either been a yes man long enough where they get away with it until they can't anymore because, you know, it's pretty obvious they have to cut somebody's head off and it's going to be theirs. But until he just lets somebody actually run the team and we get somebody in there who can actually run the team in the way that it should be run, this is just going to be a recurring fucking problem. And I think the same thing in Toronto. I feel like Shanahan is too stubborn to just... That core four, man. How long are we going to watch them all just baby on the bench and everything? Like, they're going to have to blow up Toronto,
Did you see
too.
Marner? What did he say?
Oh, he's like, yeah, like get your fucking head together or whatever, right? And they were like slow-moing it going to a commercial. And they're like, yeah, and Marner's clearly frustrated. I was like, yeah, I would be too, man. Because like their goaltending situation is, you know, fortuitous. Maybe not here because their number one got hurt, but he's, you know, like, so we'll see what happens
Their
there.
number one would have made a huge difference.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't know what's going on in management. I've never heard anything about what Acklini does or why he makes bad moves or whatever. I've heard things about Jim Benning.
Because that motherfucker will never stand in front of a mic to put up, like, to answer for anything.
Let the man speak. It's okay.
Sorry.
What were the mistakes that Jim Benning made? Because there was huge pushback against him. They flew a plane over Vancouver that said fire Jim Benning. And I'm just like, what's going on? Like, why? What did he do to destroy the Canucks? Is it just that they're losing and they haven't made the playoffs, or was specific moves that have you guys heard about this? And is Rutherford making the same mistakes?
I think it goes further back than Benning, Mike Gillis even, right? Like
Gillis, Nonis. I mean, we've had a since Pat Quinn.
Yeah.
I think Pat Quinn was the last GM coach that we actually liked.
Yeah.
And I do feel like that is something that has to kind of be brought back, where the coach has more say in the GM role, because at the end of the day, he wants his chess pieces on the board.
Yeah.
So, and if he can't get them, right? If I want a big, heavy winger and you're giving me Elias Pettersson, how do I make him big and heavy? Well, he's fast and he can still hit, like he's still solid, and you still see that out there.
Yeah.
But changes, right? Because now you can't play him against like somebody much bigger than him, like what's his name on Dallas, the big tough Canadian kid that fights everyone.
Bishop?
No.
Dallas. Jamie
Sorry,
Benn.
not Dallas.
Jamie
The
Benn.
Capitals.
Oh, Tom Wilson.
Wilson, thank
Wilson,
you.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're not really going to put those two out there together.
Wilson.
You
man.
could,
I love that
because Petey's pretty quick, but
we should mention the Wilson taunting the Carolina Panthers clap. Or no, not the Carolina Panthers, the Carolina Hurricanes. Wow, I'm so happy that an NHL player actually backs up what I've been saying for years. I don't know if you guys remember how the Carolina Hurricanes doing those stupid plays after every win. Like they would do a skit.
Yeah, but those were like...
And then it's evolved
Social
into
media.
this little circle around center
center
ice
ice
where
and
they all have to go like this.
Yeah.
Oh my, how embarrassing is that? And what happens if Tom Wilson actually gets traded to the Hurricanes? He'd have to do that? What is he going to say? What is he going to do?
Wow.
He's not going to do it.
Fuck
Yeah,
me, I
but
guess.
And
Okay.
how would you feel if you had the same convictions as Tom Wilson and you got traded to Carolina Hurricanes and you had to do that shit? And you were so like, I can't believe we have to do this.
When
This
in
is so
Rome.
embarrassing.
yeah.
Is it worth that paycheck to like embarrass yourself like that? And
don't know.
embarrass hockey. I mean, come on.
But
This
it's a social media sensation, and it gives the fans a reason to stick
I
around.
mean, that
till the
whole
end of the game.
thunderclap thing they
those
did
Carolina
at the end of the
fans
games.
can go to hell.
No, like that whole
If they need
thunderclap
if they need that clap, what?
Well, I was going to say, like, that thunderclap thing after the game was kind of cool. And then, like, from that stemmed those guys, or a team like that, I think it was, or something like that.
Oh, Don Cherry?
The T-shirts, yeah, they
Oh,
had,
no,
like, the...
Drew Doughty said it.
No, but that was,
that
that was the Canucks. There was something about the Carolina, like, they did a shirt for them, too.
It was
'cause they were
it was a Don
like
Cherry
shirts
thing.
or something, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, like, I don't know. There's something there. It's kind of part of that atmosphere for the fans, right? But... I
Europe
think
loves
Tom
that.
Wilson.
It's embarrassing to me.
Yeah,
And
like,
Tom Wilson agrees with
Europe
me.
loves
Thank
that
you, Tom
stuff,
Wilson.
though.
I love
That's
You
you.
go
the
to
thing.
Europe, the goalies put on skits, and like
Yeah.
I've seen goalies with celebrations.
and I mean, we're getting a lot of European players out here now, and a lot of European families are moving, and they're the ones coming to the games. Like we're seeing it in soccer, and like what a great.
I was waiting for that.
Well, what a good segue to go back to it, right? Because like when you see. Whatever his name is there on the big basketball dude, like, how do you handle the pressure? And he's like, I played basketball in Bosnia, bro. And then the fans, like, yeah, right? Like, they're crazy over there too, right? And so you're starting to see that now out here. And I think it maybe, hopefully, hopefully it makes its way into hockey.
That clip of them having the smoke bombs in the stands and then jumping up and down. That shit's cool.
Yeah.
Like I go along with that in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
But the thunderclap and those corny, gimmicky skits that they were doing, there you have to have some type of PR person who's down to earth, who's in touch with people,
You
and
just don't like
says,
to have fun.
No, you cannot do that, please.
But
it's
the
Mickey Mouse shit.
But the fans are probably loving it.
yeah, like
The fans are loving
like
it.
It's the players that don't because they feel it's corny.
You don't think
there are stupid fans.
Look at the
that
NHL.
will like it. It's just like the top 40 people that we bring into the games. Oh yeah, we got to play top 40 because it's like you saying with the country music and like the love songs and stuff. We got to bring the girls into the games, and we got to get the Taylor Swifts to the Kansas City Chiefs games and all that shit. Yeah, it brings the wrong people to the games, bro. Yeah. We need the right people in the games. The fucking Serbian dudes. I want those guys at the games. Fuck this Mickey Mouse bullshit.
And on that note, everybody like and subscribe our channel. The fucking pieces of I agree. Like it's
I don't know.
It's a
like
new world.
I'll just play the devil's advocate here. I kind of like to see something different. Like, yay, we scored. We all go in the corner and put our arms around each other. I would rather see Ovi fucking hot stick.
Oh man, that was so good.
Don Cherry gave him shit for that.
Whatever.
And after
Don Cherry's 100 years old. I love Don Cherry, but
I'm not saying that Don Cherry was right. I like Ovi, and that was a little bit cringe, but I don't care.
I think it brings a different market to the like a different audience
course,
to the
kids
market.
love that shit
Of course
too. I
they
don't
do,
care.
and the TikToks and everything going on. I mean, you're right. It's all PR.
And here's I was going to bring this up when it was 6-0 for the Panthers and Toronto scored, and we made it 6-1. They played Van Halen Panama. They lit up the goal horn. Guy goes down the line, taps everybody. I mean, read the room. As a DJ, you probably know this better than anybody. Why? Like, it would be so much better if somebody said, "Yeah, we don't have to play a fucking like when we score that one goal at the end of the game with a minute left and we're losing 6-1. Maybe we don't have to light up the hype because none of that shit matters. I mean, why would you do that? It doesn't match the room. Everybody's leaving the fucking stadium, and you want to play Panama for a meaningless goal.
No, it's your goal.
I would be the DJ that would says, let's just play something a little bit mediocre, like
Closing time. Closing time.
Yeah, something like that, right? I mean, let's have somebody with a brain instead of doing something over and over again.
I mean, I think if they score, it's all set up. The same goal horn, the same lights, the same thing. It's all routine. Button one, probably, right? Like, I mean,
I think
I get
cool
it.
to have
It
a
just
DJ
sucks.
with an opinion.
Hey, man, I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. But no, I
have
think
some
I
humanity to the game.
But that
I
might
agree.
kill your job.
Here's something that I learned. When Cliff played in the 40th anniversary, Cliff Ronning, by the way, he got invited to Russia for the 40th anniversary Summit Series. And they went from town to town to town to town to play just alumni games. And Cliff was like, yeah, this game's going to be on. Why don't you record it for me? So I watched the game, and there was no music during the games. There was no top 40. There was nothing. There wasn't even goal songs. But dude, the fans were fucking cool.
Yeah.
They sang. You heard the atmosphere clear. You heard the room. It was all organic.
Yeah.
It was none of this push a button for the goal horn and stuff like that. It was beautiful, man. It had soul to the game. I was like, I want to watch more of this.
But those fans also have a culture passed down. These songs are passed down. These rituals that they do. They're passed
so
down,
good.
and they're from different sports.
It's beautiful, man.
I think it must develop at the minor hockey level in their place. Because for everyone to know these songs and know these, I don't know, crowd stomps, it's got to be developed somewhere early.
You ever been to Thailand?
He was just there.
I plead the fifth.
So, yeah, I know you have. By the way, Cookie. I need Cookie. Come on.
I hear Thailand's beautiful.
But I went to Thai boxing.
Yeah.
So if you go to Thai boxing tonight, right? You see all the wagons selling you tickets for dirt cheap. You go, you have a bucket of beer for dirt cheap. It's a good time. Mm-hmm. They start with 12-year-olds coming out. And it is taken as deathly serious as the championship fight at the end of it. They come out, the music, the crowd, the chanting, the warm up, the headdress, like the ritual, everything, you know? And so, yeah, I agree. Like when you see kind of that kind of atmosphere and stuff, it's like bred into you. And so, you know, in Europe, soccer being, you know, pretty important and everywhere and stuff, like, oh yeah, all the way up they're going to be like that, right? So
Actually, that's
great.
one of the reasons why I like the Whitecaps game was because, well, they were playing top 40, but it was at a lower level where the South Side hooligans were drumming and singing, and they kind of had this thing going on the whole game long, which was a little bit more in tune with everybody.
And they
the way
were
the game was happening.
They were only playing top 40 in between the whistles, where the Southsiders were chanting the entire time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was dope.
That's why I love that Whitecaps game, because the fans dictated more the atmosphere than the guy who pushes the buttons.
100%.
Yep, but you have the problem with hockey is here in Canada and let's just say North America, you can't let them come in with blow horns and air horns and drums and that because they don't respect the sport all the time, right? You got people throwing stuff on the ice during plays, or you got, what was it, like someone in, I think it was junior hockey, they got into an altercation by like blowing air horns in people's ears, and someone took offense when his team scored or whatever, and that turned into like a brawl throughout the arena because people weren't being respectful about it. So it's got to be culture from the beginning, learn how to do it. But
we got no chance. We got no chance with the way things are right now. Like, there's no chance to like develop any songs. Everything that would be incorporated into a Canucks game right now would probably come from the head office. It wouldn't come from fans. It wouldn't come from like a group like the Southside Hooligans or anything like that. It would all be just like it would be bullshit.
Yeah, the only way you could do it is to like sit around and storm with your podcast and buy season tickets and then start doing it all the time, right? But like, how long before management says like, no, like you guys are a disturbance?
Didn't they kick out the Green Men?
Yep. That's what I said. How long before they?
What?
Yeah. The Green Men were like
they're banned.
Yeah, they were.
They got like red
They
carded
came
because of their
back.
antics against the.
The opposing team.
Well, yes, and then the penalty
specific.
box, and then like some of the other teams like essentially complained.
Oh wow.
And so it became a league thing, and it's the moment that happened, they're like, "Oh, for what? For two dumb idiots who were just fucking out they go."
Yep.
And so they kind of they got let back in, and they got like grace kind of perioded back in a little bit.
They're not there every game.
No,
It's
exactly.
Like a one
Yeah.
like
I haven't seen them forever.
Yeah, they came
like,
back. They came back this season.
Well, because we're not in the playoffs ever for fucking, you know what I mean? Like,
But they were there during the regular season, were they not?
They were sometimes, but they were like, I think they were like someone's
Don't
season
forget.
tickets that they gave out, and then they were like, hey, you guys were a hit on TV. Have my season tickets again.
Yeah.
don't forget, Vancouver had a chick that flashed her tits too, didn't they?
I
Didn't we?
remember.
Yeah, so
I remember.
lots of people get kicked out of Vancouver.
That was in the 2010 playoffs.
Oh, I was
2011.
I was
playoffs.
busy.
2011. You were there.
11, I was here.
You were there. I remember watching it at Bones' house.
Yeah.
Rewinding it.
You still got it on there?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would like to know. Let's see.
I'll dig it out. I'll dig it out.
All right, we're getting to the end
What
of the
else you
show,
got?
so
Yeah,
I want to put
I
a
got
plug
them all
in
done.
for Slapshot Alley here. So, in one of the last games with the Leafs and the Panthers, I think it was the last game. Yeah, it was. It was Game 7. And did you guys see the first period when the Leafs had 2 breakaways at the end of the first period? The second breakaway, Steven Lorenz, if you watch it in slow-mo, he's on a breakaway and he's got his head down the whole way, and he just shoots the puck, and it hits the goalie right in the midsection, right? And so this is what we teach. If there's one thing that I've learned over the course of my career, is the most important thing is your eyes. And it's changed my game in a way that I can't explain. Just the IQ factor, right? Like if your head is down and you're looking at the puck when you're shooting, you have no options.
Yeah.
And if your eyes are up, you have so much more ability to make smart plays. And when I saw that Leafs guy with his head down, and I said, oh my God, you know, like what an opportunity. The score was 0-0. He's got a breakaway with 2 minutes left in the first period, and he just plays it right into the goalie's breadbasket. And then in the second period, you see Seth Jones. I don't know if you guys saw that goal, but his head up. He's looking over. He's on a 2-on-1, and then he looks over like this, and he's like, his eyes light up, and he just goes for it. And what a difference. Yeah. And, you know, that's the type of things that I teach here. I will take that Lorenz shot with his head down. I will show it to the kid. I'm saying, look, he's looking down at the puck. He doesn't see anything. He plays it right into the goalie's breadbasket. Look at Seth Jones. Boom, boom, boom. Kid starts to comprehend. Mm-hmm. That's what it takes to be a good hockey player. So that's my Slapshot Alley plug for the day.
And it works both ways. The goalie's probably looking at Seth Jones. Oh, he's looking. I'm going to load. He's going to pass. He shot.
Well, and I'll say this, speaking of Slapshot Alley, so I skated for the first time ever. I brought my skates and gloves in here just to kind of get a few rips in.
You look pretty good.
We might have got that
no,
fall.
man, like this floor is phenomenal. It's better than I expected. It's way smoother than I thought it would be because I thought like the bumps and stuff you'd feel it, but like no, skating around and it's my own brain, like because I'm walking around, everybody else is walking around. I kind of was like walking in my skates, you know, like. But that's just me being an idiot because it's my brain, right? Like, and I may or may not have had a couple. But yeah, no, super dope. The laser, unfortunately, told me my time, which was not fast enough. So we're gonna
64.
We're gonna
Is that your
think
best?
maybe I don't know. We're gonna
After some coaching tips.
yeah, man, and like,
nice.
hey, you better be careful with them tips, buddy, because we're coming to you on Wednesday.
I'm still not worried about 68. Let me tell you.
Anyway, me neither. Once I get 69.
Maybe we'll also try some goalie pads on this in the next time. And I'll see whether I can slide or
Talk
not.
dirty to me because I too would like to try those.
Can we film it?
Yeah.
We'll film it.
Yeah. But anyway, so thanks for letting me try
lots
the
of
floor
training
out,
options
and
here at
shout out to
Slapshot.
Slapshot Alley because it was pretty legit, and like I totally want to come down here and just work on stuff now, like. So we might have, I know.
Opened a can of worms, didn't we?
Yeah, we know. Yeah.
All right. We're done.
Okay.
Thanks for watching.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks.
Later, guys.